If you want to be really wealthy, you need to do a few things. If you want to have enough money, if you want to make millions, then there is a path for you. And there's multiple paths that I talk about on this channel, and so feel free to look at that. But today, we're going to talk about some key money tips that will help you to achieve financial freedom and to become a millionaire sooner. Let's do it. Okay, so the first thing is to get on target and to start learning about financial education, to start figuring out where are you currently financially, and where do you want to go? And so figure out where you are now, but where do you want to go? And then that's going to help you to design your life and to figure out exactly what you do with your finances. Too often, there's a lot of advice on there. Do we do index funds? Do we invest in real estate? Do we build a business? So you need to figure out what is best for you. What is your situation? What do you actually want? Do you want to be an entrepreneur? Do you want to have your own business? If you do, great. There's a way for the Millionaire Fastlane and you can get richer faster, but maybe that's not for you. Index funds, is that interesting to you? Are you willing to wait a long period of time to make more money? And if you are, and you like your current job or you like your current situation, you feel like you have enough money to live without feeling stressed, without feeling like you're living so below your means where it's uncomfortable or it's not fun and it's depressing you or making you sad, then go for it and go, I'm going to invest in my index funds. I have plenty of money to continue living my current life, and I also have plenty of money to put aside. So where are you? Are you in a lot of debt? What's your situation and where do you want to go? Because you have to figure out what you're willing to sacrifice, what you're willing to do, and what you're willing not to do in order to figure out what path is going to be best for you. Another exercise that I think is really helpful, which is number 2, is to figure out how much would you actually want to make. How much money do you need? And then how much money do you want? And so these are 2 key distinctions, but I think sometimes we can be like, I just want to be a millionaire. I just want to make a lot of money. I want to retire early. I want to do this. And so you actually have to know how much is ideal for you. Like, do you make $200,000 a year, but you want to have some money to start a business, or you want to have more money to put in your investments? You want to retire early? Like, what is your goal here? And so you might be like, okay, I make $150,000 right now, but with the cost of living and with where we currently live or the house we want to get, we would need to make $250,000 or $300,000. Cool, right? Or hey, I'm trying to retire early, and so my FI number, and I'll put the calculation up here on how to calculate your financial independence and retire early calculator. And so you need a little bit more of your income. And so how are you going to get there? Right? So you actually have to know the numbers. So many times it's the same thing with budgets. Like, how much money is actually going in? How much money is coming out? Do you know the numbers? Know the numbers, like they say on Shark Tank. Really get to know your numbers, because like our business wouldn't ignore the numbers. And so you're the business of yourself and your family. You really need to understand the numbers and understand where you're trying to go. Because sometimes, like, I know I could get caught up in this. I need to make this much money, or I need to make millions, or this. But really, what is going to be enough to make you feel peaceful, to make you achieve your goals? Another question is, what is your goal? What is your dream life? Do you want to be able to retire yourself? Like maybe both you and your husband work and you'd love to stay at home. And so what amount of money would that require? That's going to help you get to where you want to be faster, and it's going to be easier because you actually know where you want to go. Oprah said this before. The best way to be successful is to know where you want to go. All right, I've talked about the Millionaire Fastlane on this channel, and so if you're interested in that, then definitely check it out. It is more geared towards people who want to get on the fast lane, but consider that, like I talked about, what lane do you want to get on? Are you in the slow lane? Are you on the sidewalk? Or are you in the fast lane? And so the sidewalk, you're in a lot of debt, you're just living day to day, and that's ideally and hopefully not where you are. If that's where you are, then let's figure out how to get out of there. There's the sidewalk that you're cool with just slowly getting to wealth. You're going to have millions eventually. You're living a great lifestyle. You're happy with that. You're content. You're cool. Go for it. Some of you are like, I like the sidewalk, but I actually kind of have an entrepreneurial spirit, or I really want to build something. Or maybe you're like, I really want to get there faster and I'm willing to do this. Let's go for it. And so you're willing to go to the fast lane. And so I'll put a list here of some of the common fast lane tracks and ways that you can make money, right? And so DeMarco talks about, like, maybe you can't do what you love to do. I'm conflicted on this and I don't fully agree with this. I do understand, but a lot of successful people that I've learned about say you gotta love what you do, or love your mission, or love what you're trying to do, because it's gonna make it easier to be able to get through the obstacles. If there's obstacles that you face, and if you don't care about it or you don't like it, it's gonna be hard, right? Like with your children, you like love your children, so it's so much easier to get through any of the struggles or the hard days or the things because you love them so much. So you're willing to go above and beyond and willing to get through those ups and downs, right? Or those really hard days and be there completely for them. And so find what you really enjoy. This could be with Ikigai. Find a mix of this Ikigai, what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. If you can find all 4 of those, so maybe pause this video and think about that. Is there something that would meet all 4 of these? And that will give you an idea of maybe where to go. Number 4, stop demonizing the jobs and the 9-to-5s. Maybe that works for you. Honestly, a lot of people, it's really draining to do a 9-to-5. It's not ideal, but a lot of people like it, and you're not having to put as much risk out there. And so these jobs can really help you and can give you a lot of benefits. If you ever worked for yourself before, you don't get the same amount of benefits that you would if you were actually employed. And so yes, maybe you have slow growth. And if you aren't getting promoted, or you aren't learning more, or you've stayed at the same stale income for so long, maybe you need to move. But also, a lot of us need to recognize, and I think a lot of people do, but I've seen that online, that a lot of people are like, what's wrong with the 9-to-5? Or everyone thinks that the 9-to-5 is horrible. And that's not true. There's some people who are not meant for a 9-to-5 or do not want to. They want the 4-hour work week from Tim Ferriss. They want to build a business. They want to do something different or work for themselves or stay at home or whatever. And so I think the message is just showing that that's not the only way. I think a lot of people think that that's the only way, or that's what was told to them. And so that's why it's exciting and enlightening to other people, saying, oh, there are other ways. But if that's not the way you want to go, that doesn't mean you have to. And so really use discernment and judgment and go through the lens of what life do you want to live when you're listening to these options and advice. A lot of people don't want to be an entrepreneur or don't want to be in sales, and that's okay. There's trade-offs and pros and cons to everything. Number 5, if you are young or if you have kids, teach them about things when they are young. I get it. I learned about financial education, or in college I took family financial management, but I wasn't right in that. I didn't have a family. And so I wasn't thinking about how do I manage my family finances. And so sometimes I do think there's truth in you need to be in the place you're at to receive the information, the feedback, right? If you're not trying to become a professional basketball player and someone's trying to tell you about how you could be the best professional basketball player, or this is what Kobe did, or whatever, or Tiger Woods did these things to get to his level, then you're probably not going to totally take it in. But if you're I have this problem, I don't know how to make more money, or I don't know how to invest, I'm ready to invest, I'm tired of my money not making more money, I'm tired of not being able to afford what I want, then you have that energy, that motivation to get there. And so I think that it's important to start early if you can, but if you aren't in that frame yet, how can we also, as parents, our kids aren't in that frame, but what are these seeds that can be planted? It's not always that they are going to know everything or it's going to illuminate a new path. Maybe it will for certain kids. They're very aware. But for some people, how can we plant these seeds? And also, if you didn't start young, yes, the power of compounding is huge. Or if you start early on your dreams, it's going to be great. I mean, a lot of Olympians like Shawn Johnson was very successful, and then she was 16 and she had already lived a whole big career in life and made tons of money. And then she had to go through and learn when she was older. So everyone's stage is different, but how can you learn and start early? The best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago, but the second best time is now. So start now, it's okay. But also, if you have younger people in your life, if you are young, how can you start learning some of these things now? Number 6, get back to basics. And so I'm always about how can I make things more simple? How can I make things easier? And so for you, if you understand investing or the index funds, I'm that makes so much sense to me, 10%. It might not be worth it to you to try to trade stocks or do day trading. That's okay. Go with what works. Go with what makes sense to you. Warren Buffett says that too. I do what I understand. So many people have gotten wealthy off Bitcoin or real estate, but he does investing. He chooses his one path and one lane. Maybe that's not for you, but if that is for you, then don't be upset about that and don't feel like you need to be doing more. Morgan Housel's Psychology of Money, he's I invest in index funds, super boring, do what I gotta do. I write my books, I make money from these things, I live below my means. That's it. And so you don't have to overcomplicate things. And I think I can fall for that trap sometimes of trying to be more, do more, make it better, make it the best, or get to a new level. You don't have to unlock all the levels if you don't want to. Number 7, learn about your situation. There is only one you, one of your situation. So financial advice, it's not just going to be the same for everyone. Maybe there's similar principles. Maybe, yes, investing would be great for most people, not living in a certain amount of debt, using debt appropriately, things of that nature, getting invested in retirement accounts, using these tax advantage accounts. Some of these things could work for a lot of people, but some people have businesses, so the tax benefits would be different. Some people have children, and so they're going to maybe have daycare or other costs that they have to think about and plan for. Maybe you don't want to script and save and like never spend money, and you're not okay with just being a complete minimalist or like having no spend challenges for a week or a month, and you want to go to Target. And so figure out how to put money into your budget for those things. And so everybody is different. And so figure out what is your ideal situation? What is your life? Where's your goal? Where's the gap? And then how can you get there in a somewhat enjoyable way? And maybe you're like, I don't care if I enjoy it. Then cool. Like, and you're the person that's going to be in that situation. That is a different situation and a different plan because you are different and unique in that way. We all are. And so figure out what plan is going to be good for you, what's going to feel good for you. And like I said, if you don't care if it feels good, that's okay too. But do what works for you to get where you want to be. There's so many different ways to get from A to Z. All right, I hope this video was helpful and helped you think a little bit more about your finances and what you actually want, and give you permission that it's okay to do what works for you. We're all different, we're all unique, and so we need to look at it through our own unique lens and situation, and not all advice is going to be the right advice for us. And so don't worry if someone else is doing one thing but you're not. If it helps, what you're doing helps you get to your goals, then that should be good enough. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you have questions and what videos I can make to help support you. Keep learning, working, and growing. I believe in you. Feel free to like and subscribe for more, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys. You got this.